Good morning, children. In last video, we saw about the fertilization process in flowering plants that will specially termed as double fertilization and triple fusion. In this video, we are going to focus after fertilization, several changes takes place in the floral parts up to the formation of seeds. Post-fertilization changes means the events after the fertilization, that is endosperm development, embryo development, formation of seed and formation of fruits. So these are the events are called as the post-fertilization changes. Now we are going to see the transformation of parts after fertilization. The parts like sepals, petals, stamens, tail and stigma are usually after the fertilization they are fall off. The ovary after the fertilization is transformed into fruit, and inside the ovary the ovule is going to transform as a seed of the fruit and the egg is going to transform as a zygote. The funicle of the ovule, that is the stalk of the ovule, is going to transform after the fertilization as the stalk of the seed. The micropyle opening of the ovule is going to transform after the fertilization as the micropyle of the seed. This opening it facilitates the oxygen and water uptake. The nucellus is going to transform as a perisperm. The outer integument of the ovule is going to transform as a testa, outer seed coat. And inner integument is going to transform as a tegmen, inner seed coat. The synergid cells are degenerated. Secondary nucellus is going to transform as the endosperm. Antipodal cells also degenerate. So these are the important transformations of the parts after the fertilization. See the picture. This picture shows the overview of the post-fertilization changes. Sepals and petals are fall off. The ovary become a fruit. Inside the ovary, the ovule is become a seed. The outer integument, outer covering of the integument covering of the ovule is going to transform as the testa, outer seed coat, and the inner integument is going to change as a tegma, inner seed coat. The seed possesses the embryo. So after the seed germination, the new plant will arise. So this is the overall view of the post-fertilization changes in the flowering plants. Now we are going to focus the endosperm formation. The primary endosperm nucleus divides immediately after the fertilization, but before the zygote starts to divide, and it will develop into an endosperm. Primary endosperm nucleus, that is PEN, that means it will form because of the result of the triple fusion, that we know that two polar nuclei, upper nuclei and lower polar nuclei, and one sperm nucleus. So they have a 3n number of chromosome. So this primary endosperm nucleus, it's divide immediately. Fertilization முடிஞ்சு அடுத்த immediately it started to divide, but zygote ஓட division start ஆகிறதுக்கு முன்னாடியே primary endosperm nucleus started to divide. So it is the nutritive tissue for that young developing embryo. So develop ஆகிற embryo it will nourish us, and it is a regulatory structure. So depending upon the mode of development, three types of endosperms are recognized in angiosperm. They are nuclear endosperm, cellular endosperm and halobial endosperm. Nuclear endosperm means the primary endosperm nucleus undergoes the several mitotic division without cell wall formation. So this forms a free nuclear condition exists in the endosperm. So nucleus மட்டும் நிறைய mitotic division நடந்து நிறைய nucleus divide ஆகி endospermல present ஆயிருக்கும், but there is no cell wall formation. So this condition is called as a nuclear endosperm. This type is called as a nuclear endosperm. Cellular endosperm means primary endosperm nucleus divides into two nuclei, and it is immediately followed by the cell wall formation. Then subsequent division also follow the cell wall formation. So at first primary endosperm nucleus, two nuclei divide ஆகும். After the nuclear division, immediately cell wall formation. After again the division occurs, then after the nuclear division, immediate cell wall formation is occur. So immediate cell wall formation occurs means this type is called as a cellular endosperm. Halobial endosperm in the sense, primary endosperm nucleus, first of all it moves towards the base of the embryo sac. Embryo sac oda base ku poi, then it will start dividing into two nuclei. Then cell wall formation takes place. So after that it will form a large micropylar chamber and small chalcel chamber. So the nucleus of the micropyle chamber la irukra nucleus several nuclear division happen ஆகும். But chalcel chamber la irukra nucleus may be the division occur or may not be occur. So this is a halovial type of endosperm. Ruminant endosperm in the sense the endosperm with irregularity and unevenness in the surface forms some. Endosperm surface வந்து uneven-ஆ இருந்துச்சு அப்படின்னா that is called as a ruminant endosperm. So these are the types of endosperm: nuclear endosperm, cellular endosperm, halovial endosperm and ruminant endosperm. See the pictures of the types of endosperm. At first one is the nuclear endosperm. See that. So the nucleus and all free nuclei present inside the endosperm. So this is the nuclear endosperm. And the second one is the cellular endosperm. So nuclei divide on immediate away they form a cell wall. So it is fully covered with a nucleus or fully covered with a cell wall. That is the cellular endosperm. In halovial endosperm, the micropyle end has the large chamber and it is have a mini nucleus and it will be covered by the cell wall. And a small chalcel chamber is present. Ruminant endosperm means that is unevenness. So the structure surface வந்து uneven இருக்கிறதால that is called as a ruminant endosperm. These are the types of endosperm. The endosperm may either be completely consumed by the developing embryo or it otherwise present in the mature seeds. So the seeds without the endosperms are called as a non-endospermous seeds or otherwise called as a ex-albuminous seeds. The seeds contains the endosperm means that is called as a endospermous seed or albuminous seeds. So the endospermous in the seeds supply the nutrition to the embryo during the seed germination. Now we are going to see the functions of endosperm. It is a nutritive tissue for developing embryo. Majority of the angiosperm, the zygote divides only after the development of endosperm. The endosperm regulate the precise mode of embryo development. So this is the important functions of the endosperm. Now we are going to see the development of dicot embryo. The embryo develops at the micropylar end of the embryo sac. So we know the micropylar end of the embryo sac. The zygote undergoes the transverse division. Transverse division ஆகி ரெண்டு செல்ல ஃபார்ம் ஆகும். Upper cell is called as a terminal cell and lower cell is called as the basal cell. The further division in the zygote during the development lead to the formation of embryo. So first ரெண்டு செல்ல divide ஆகும், upper cell and lower cell. So next it will form the two cell stages convert into a four celled proembryo. Then after that globular shaped embryo form ஆகும். Then heart shaped embryo. At last it will form a mature embryo. It will present in the seed. This is the development of dicot embryo. This picture shows the stages involved in the development of dicot embryo. At first the zygote they have the transverse division. So they form the upper terminal cell and next lower basal cell. Then the two celled proembryo is converted into a four cell proembryo. And then it will form a globular embryo, global shaped, then heart shaped embryo. At last the mature embryo, it is present in the seed. The mature embryo has a radicle, plumule and two cotyledons because this is the dicot embryo. So they have a two cotyledons. The fertilized ovule is called seed. The seed possesses an embryo, endosperm and protective coat. The seed may be endospermous or non-endospermous. If endosperm present means that is called as the endospermous seeds. If it is endospermous absent means that is called as a non-endospermous. Non-endospermous is otherwise called as a ex-albuminous. If endosperm present means that is called as a albuminous seeds. Wheat, maize, sunflower or endospermous seed. Mango, bean, cucurbits are the non-endospermous seed. Now we are going to see the structure of dicot seed. The mature seed attaches to the fruit ball by the stalk. The stalk is called as the funiculus. The funicle disappear ஆகிறப்ப it leaving one scar tissue that is called as a hilum. Below the hilum we have a small opening. That opening is called as a micropyle. Because of this micropyle opening, it helps the entry of the oxygen and water into the seed during time of germination. The seed have the outer covering that is called seed coat. The seed coat is developed from the integuments, that we know that. Integument of the ovule. Ovule and the integument, after the post-fertilization changes, it is going to form a seed coat. The outer coat is called as a testa. Testa is the hard, and the inner coat is called as a tegmen. Tegmen is the thin and membranous. In some of the plants like a pea plant, the tegmen and testa, so both the seed coats are fused together. Two cotyledons are present because this is a dicot seed. The two cotyledons are laterally attached to the embryonic axis. Embryonic axis la attach ayirukum two cotyledons. So it stores the food materials. Pea plant it stores the food materials. Other plants like castor, the endosperm only contain the reserve the food materials. The portion of the embryonal axis projecting beyond the cotyledon. Cotyledon la irundhu vara that portion, embryonic root, is called as a radicle. The same way embryonic shoot is called as a plumule. So seed la irundhu endha portion root ah form aga podho, that is called as a radicle. Seed la irundhu shoot ah form aga and the portion is called as a plumule. The embryonal axis above the level of the cotyledon. Cotyledon ku mela irukka embryonic axis is called as a epicotyle. The cylindrical region between the two cotyledons, between the level of the cotyledon, is called as a hypocotyle. The epicotyle terminates the plumule and the hypocotyle ends in the radicle. So the radicle is the embryonic root, the plumule is the embryonic shoot. This is the picture of the dicot seed. So the seed is covered by the testa and tegmen. The seed coat is testa is there, and two cotyledons are present. The two cotyledons are joined in the embryonal axis. Embryonic root is called as the radicle and embryonic shoot is called as the plumule. This is the dicot seed picture. Now we are going to focus the structure of monocot seed. The seed of paddy is the one-seeded, that is called as a caryopsis. Each seed remains enclosed by the brownish husk, which consists of the glumen, that is arranged in two rows. The seed coat is the brownish membranous layer that is closely adhered to the grain. Endosperm forms the bulk of the grain and it is in the storage tissue. This is a monocot seed. So they have a single cotyledon. Only one single cotyledon that will be shield shaped, and the shoot axis with the plumule and radicle are protected by the root cape is present. The plumule, that we know that embryonic shoot, is surrounded by the sheath is called as a coleoptile. The radicle, that is the embryonic root, it is surrounded by the protective sheath is called as a coleorhiza. The scutellum. Scutellum is a shield shaped cotyledon. It supplies the growth of the embryo, growing embryo food materials absorbed from the endosperm with the help of the epithelium. Epithelium is a definite layer. It is separated from the embryo. So because of the epithelium, endosperm and the nutritive tissue it is develop embryo, it is helping growing for the embryo. That is called scutellum. This is a picture of the Oryza sativa, the paddy plant seed, monocot seed. So they have a radicle and plumule is covered by the root cap. Then radicle is covered by the coleorhiza and plumule is covered by the coleoptile. They have a scutellum. Scutellum is a shield-shaped cotyledon. So this is the monocot seed. Thus, these are the events after the fertilization, that is the endosperm development, embryo development, formation of seed and fruits. So these are all called as a post-fertilization, that is changes occurs in the flower of the angiosperm. Now we are going to see some of the terms that related to the fertilization. Usually the reproduction involving fertilization in flowering plants. Flowering plants la fertilization nadandha reproduction nadakum. That process is called as the amphimixis. But the reproduction does not involve the union of male and female gamete. That is called as the apomixis. The term apomixis was first introduced by Winkler in the year 1908. The usual amphimixis, usual sexual reproduction in the sense, there is the involvement of the meiosis and syngamy. Syngamy in the sense fertilization, fusion of male and female gamete will happen. So there is no syngamy in the apomixis. Maheshwari in 1950 classified the apomixis into two types. recurrent apomixis and non-recurrent apomixis. Recurrent apomixis involves the vegetative reproduction and agomospermy. Vegetative reproduction, that we know that plants propagate by means of the any other parts other than the seeds. It may be bulbs or runner, sucker, bulbil, that we saw that is a vegetative reproduction. Agomospermy in the sense the process by which the embryos are formed by eliminating the meiosis and syngamy. So there is no meiosis and syngamy. That agomospermy is further divided into three types: adventive embryony, diplospory and apospory. Adventive embryony in the sense the embryo arises directly from the diploid sporophytic cells, either from the nucellus or integument. It is called as a sporophytic budding because gametophytic phase is completely absent. So adventive embryos will form only from the sporophytic, not a gametophytic. So it is called as adventive embryony. Diplospory in the sense the diploid embryo sac is formed from the megaspore mother cell without the regular meiotic division. Usually megaspore mother cell undergoes the meiosis, then only it forms that cells. So here there is no meiotic division. Megaspore mother cell, from that it will form a diploid embryo sac. So that is called as a diplospory. Apospory means megaspore mother cell undergoes the normal meiosis and 4 megaspores are formed, gradually disappear. The nucellar cell becomes activated and it develops into a diploid embryo sac. This type is called as a apospory. It's also called as a somatic apospory. So usually megaspore mother cell meiosis நடந்து form ஆகுற 4 megasporum gradually disappear ஆயிரும். Then nucellar cell it will act as a diploid embryo sac. This is called as a apospory. Non-recurrent apomixis in the sense haploid embryo sac is developed after meiosis and it develops into a embryo without fertilization. There is no fertilization alone. So usual meiosis happen agi it will develop. So these are all about the apomixis. Now we are going to see the term polyembryony. Polyembryo, many embryo. So usually only one embryo is present in the seed, but sometimes more than one embryo is present in the seed. That condition is called as a polyembryony. The first case of polyembryony was reported by the Anton von Leeuwenhoek in the year 1790. The polyembryony is divided into 4 categories. The first one is a cleavage polyembryony. Cleavage in the sense the division. So once the embryo formed means it will divide it into more than one, divided into 2 or 4 like that. That is called as a cleavage polyembryony. The second category is the formation of embryo by cells of the embryo sac other than egg. So egg தவிர embryo sac இருக்க cells, other cells like a synergid இருக்கலாம் or endosperm or antipodal cells that will form a embryo means that is a second category. The third category is the development of more than one embryo sac within the same ovule. Usually inside the ovule one embryo sac will form. But inside that ovule, same ovule, many embryo sacs will form means that is the third category of the polyembryony. The final category is the activation of some sporophytic cells of the ovule. The sporophytic cells, it may be a nucellum or like an integument, it will activate and it will form an embryo means that is some fourth category. These are all the polyembryonic condition. See the picture. This picture contains the polyembryony. The embryo sac shows the zygotic embryo. The zygotic embryo is present at one corner and antipodal cells will form one embryo. So more than one embryo is present. So this is the polyembryonic condition. In this lesson, the final topic is called parthenocarpy. Parthenocarpy means usually the ovary becomes the fruit and the ovule becomes the seed after the fertilization. But in number of cases, the fruit-like structures may develop from the ovary without the act of fertilization. Such fruits are called as parthenocarpic fruits. So there is no the process of fertilization. இப்போ fertilization process நடக்காமல் fruit formation will occur from the ovary. That is called as that process is called as a parthenocarpy. That fruit is termed as a parthenocarpic fruit. So there are many commercial fruits. So they don't have a true seeds, seedless. So they made a seedless. Example, banana, grapes, papaya. Which in the year 1963, they classified the parthenocarpy into the majorly three types. The first type is called as a genetic parthenocarpy. The parthenocarpy arises due to the hybridization, mutation, gene level changes nadandanaala, that is called as a genetic parthenocarpy. The second category is environmental parthenocarpy. Environmental condition like a fog condition, low temperature or high temperature, so they can induce the parthenocarpy. For example, low temperature for 3 to 19 hours, it induces the parthenocarpy in pear fruit. So this environmental condition parthenocarpy induced pannichna, that is the environmental parthenocarpy. The third type is a chemically induced parthenocarpy. Application of some growth promoting substance like auxin, gibberellin. So like this growth hormone will induce the parthenocarpy. So this is the chemically induced parthenocarpy. Now the significance of parthenocarpy. The seedless fruit have a great significance in horticulture. So commercial value is important. Seedless fruit one great commercial importance. Using these seedless fruits we can prepare the jam, jelly, chaas, fruit drinks like that. So the high proportion of the edible part is available because there is no seeds. So these are the important significance of the parthenocarpic fruit. So they are absence of the seeds. So they are seedless fruit. Commonly it's called as a seedless fruit. So now we have completed the chapter 1. So in this chapter we saw about the reproduction, and under the reproduction we saw the asexual method, and asexual method like a fragmentation, gamma, binary fission, budding, regeneration, like that. In this asexual method, some natural methods also we saw that, and then artificial method also we saw that. Then sexual reproduction, under that we saw the gametogenesis. Under the gametogenesis, megasporogenesis and microsporogenesis, then pollination and fertilization and post-fertilization. So these are all about the first chapter. Thank you.